See, in the previous classes, we were talking on the Mendelian principles. We have explained about monohybrid crosses, dihybrid crosses, and monohybrid ratios, dihybrid ratios, and the extension of monohybrid and dihybrid ratios. For instance, in the previous class, we were talking on epistasis and other things, complementary genes, supplementary genes, which were all Mendelian modified ratios or extension of Mendelian works. So, in this class, we are going to see the extra chromosomal inheritance. What is extra chromosomal inheritance? Extra chromosomal inheritance is also called extra nuclear inheritance. Or cytoplasmic inheritance. Cytoplasmic inheritance, this can also be called as non-Mendelian inheritance. So, the same thing can be called by three names. Why do we call this as extra chromosomal inheritance? We know DNA is the genetic material. DNA is the genetic material. Inheritance of characters, inheritance of character from parents to offsprings is performed by DNA. DNA plays a vital role. In other words, genes, we would say genes. Genes or DNA in total, DNA is responsible for carrying or inheriting characters from one generation to next generation. So, in those cases where DNA works as a genetic material, Mendelian ratios, monohybrid cross, phenotypic ratio 3:1, genotypic ratio in patients at 1:2:1, and dihybrid cross, phenotypic ratio 9:3:3:1. We have not studied about the genotypic ratio in dihybrid. And in Mendelian modified ratio, we talked about many combinations, extension of Mendelian ratios. For instance, for example, dominant epistasis, we studied the ratio as 12:3:1. Phenotypic ratio was 12:3:1. In all these cases, DNA plays a vital role. DNA is present in the chromosome. Chromosome is present in nucleus. So, they follow the Mendelian ratios, Mendelian principles, namely law of dominance, law of segregation, law of independent assortment. All those principles, Mendelian principles, were followed by these individuals. But apart from this, the inheritance of characters is performed by some materials or DNA present in cytoplasm. Cytoplasm, there are cytoplasmic organelles. Cytoplasmic organelles. In the cytoplasm, we know there are so many organelles in which the vital organs are chloroplast and mitochondria. Chloroplast and mitochondria. The chloroplast and mitochondria, if you take chloroplast, it has a matrix in which there are certain extra genomic DNA. This is called extra chromosomal or extragenomic DNA. The same way in mitochondria also. In the mitochondria also there are certain DNA inside the mitochondria. There are some DNA extra. These are also called extra chromosomal DNA. These are all self-replicating bodies. They don't have any connection with the DNA present in the nucleus. That is why we call them as extranuclear DNA. And also, since they are found in the organs of cytoplasm, we call them as the cytoplasmic inheritance or cytoplasmic DNA. And since they do not follow Mendelian principles, they are called non-Mendelian inheritance. This process is also called non-Mendelian inheritance, and these inheritance is performed by this DNA. Which DNA? Extra chromosomal DNA found in the chloroplast and mitochondria. So from this we understand inheritance of character is mainly made by the DNA present in the nucleus. In some cases, the DNA of cytoplasm also involves, or the DNA present in the organelles of the cytoplasm involves in the inheritance of character, that is called extra chromosomal inheritance. And these genes, these are DNA, or of course the genes, this can also be called as plasmogenes. So the DNA present in mitochondria, the DNA present in chloroplast are also inheriting character, helping in the inheritance of characters. Since they are involving in the inheritance of character, they are named as plasmogenes. And this inheritance of character or this inheritance is not related to nucleus, and so it is called extra chromosomal inheritance or non-nuclear inheritance, and also non-Mendelian inheritance. So rightly it can be named as cytoplasmic inheritance. As I said, these plasma genes are self-replicating bodies. When the cell divide, the cytoplasm divide, where the karyogamy, plasmogamy, we know karyogamy, plasmogamy or cytogamy takes place, cytokinesis takes place. The organelles also divide. By the time when organelles divide, this DNA present in chloroplast or mitochondria also divide, they are also replicating. That is why we call them as a self-replicating bodies. So in this we are going to see how these cytoplasmic organelles involve in the inheritance of characters. First we will take first organ, chloroplast. How chloroplast involved in the inheritance of characters. Chloroplast inheritance. In what way chloroplast involves in the inheritance of character? We are going to see that now. See, in the plant Mirabilis jalapa, there are two varieties. One plant with dark green leaved plant. One is dark green leaved plant. Dark green leaved plant. And another variety is light green leaved plant. Dark green leaved plant, which means plants with dark green leaves. Plants with light green leaves. So this indicates the dark green color. And if this is considered as female and this one is considered as male, and if a cross is made, all this consider this as parent and F1 generation. All plants were dark green leaved. So the variety obtained was all dark green leaved plants. So from this, if you see this inheritance with Mendelian perspectives, or in the angle of Mendelian law of dominance, we would say that green leaved plants are dominating over light green plant. To check this, he made a reciprocal cross. So reciprocal cross is made. In the reciprocal cross, see dark green leaved plant is crossed with light green leaved plant. So this is reciprocal cross. What is reciprocal cross? Reciprocal cross is one made to verify whether the sex of the parent has any influence over the character. To prove that sex of the parent do not have any influence over the character, Mendel performed reciprocal crosses. Here too we are making reciprocal crosses to prove that the sex of the parent do not have any inheritance of character. But here dark green plant, as we said, dark green leaved plant, leaves are dark green, and here light green leaved plant. You treat dark green plant leaf as male, this is reciprocal, and light green plant leaf as female. And here the F1 generation, if this is reciprocal cross, in the reciprocal cross, parent and the F1 generation, all plants were light green leafed plant, which means the leaves are light green in color. So what do we understand from this? This indicates that the leaf color has been inherited. What is the leaf color found in female plant? That is the dark green leaved plant is a female here, its character has been expressed. Here light green plant is a female plant, here its character has been expressed. This indicates or gives us a clue that the character of the female plant has been expressed in the F1 generation. This is it was afterwards found out, this is because of the chloroplast, the DNA present in the chloroplast of the female plant is responsible for this inheritance of character. Why? If you take a sperm or anthrozoid and ovum, ovum is bigger in size, it has some cytoplasm. In the cytoplasm there are chloroplasts and mitochondria, etc., and these chloroplasts inherit certain characters. But in sperm it is very small, there is no much cytoplasm. So cytoplasmic inheritance is not possible with sperm. Cytoplasmic inheritance is possible only with the female. So the DNA present in the chloroplast of the ovum inherits the character or determines the character of the dark green leaved plant and also in the light green leaved plant. So whatever it is, whether it is a dark green leaved plant or light green leaved plant, if it is a female plant, that character is established through that. To tell this in a vivid way, the DNA present in the chloroplast of the ovum determines the phenotypic character of the organism in F1 generation. So this is because of the cytoplasmic inheritance, especially the chloroplast inheritance. Chloroplast plays a vital role, or DNA present in the chloroplast plays a vital role in the establishment of the character as far as the color of the leaf is concerned, in this case of Mirabilis jalapa. So, mitochondrial inheritance, which means the DNA or genes present in the mitochondria inherits certain characters, phenotypic characters, or control certain phenotypic character. So, this is very clearly studied in pearl millet. Pearl millet is nothing but Sorghum vulgaris. In Sorghum vulgaris, we see a phenomenon called cytoplasmic male sterility. We will talk about cytoplasmic male sterility in the pearl millet. There are two varieties in pearl millet. One is plant with normal cytoplasm. So, normal cytoplasm, and this is called N. And a plant with aberrated cytoplasm, aberrant, plant with aberrant cytoplasm. The aberrant cytoplasm produces sterility. This is known as S. If a male plant with these are two varieties, variety 1 and variety 2, aberrant cytoplasm. If plant with a normal cytoplasm is considered as male, is crossed with plant with the aberrant cytoplasm, this is as having the sterility factor. This is normal. This is a factor for sterility, male sterility. S stands for factor for male sterility. So, the factor for male sterility is found in the cytoplasm of the aberrant plant. So, here the male character or the sterility or the fertility of an individual, male sterility or male fertility of an individual is determined by the aberrant cytoplasm of the female individual, not by the male individual. Here normal cytoplasm, this is considered as male, and aberrant cytoplasm, this is considered as female. If a cross is made between that, the femaleness of this plant is not going to be affected, because this gene is only associated with the sterility of the male, and this will produce an individual, a male will be produced which is sterile. Why? The F1 individual will be produced, male sterile will be produced. The reason is, this is normal, which is working as a male in the first generation, in the parent generation. Now, a cross is made with the normal cytoplasm, the plant with the normal cytoplasm, male, and the aberrant cytoplasm, female. The genes, the mitochondrial gene which are responsible for making sterility in the male is coming here, the F1 generation. If a male plant is obtained, the male plant will be sterile because of the aberrant cytoplasm carried over from the parents to the offspring. So, here the female individual, here to the female individual which has the aberrant cytoplasm is responsible for the sterility of the male. Another crash, aberrant cytoplasm. Aberrant cytoplasm male, the cross is made between, and a normal cytoplasm, this is S sterile, and a normal cytoplasm female, this is normal female. If a cross is made between, what will happen? Actually, this is aberrant. aberrant, this is normal. The female may involve in fertilization, but male cannot involve in fertilization. Cannot involve in fertilization. The reason is this is having aberrant cytoplasm in its gene itself, in the mitochondria of this itself. So, no individual will be produced in the F1 generation. So, this is about the mitochondrial inheritance is in Mirabilis gelapum. See, recently they have found out an RF factor. This is restoration or restoring factor. They have found out RF factors in the mitochondria that can be named as a restoration factor, or is a factor restores fertility. Factor to restore fertility. See, we know that there are two types of cytoplasm. One is normal, this is named as N, and another one is sterile. Cytoplasm is sterile, this is named as S. And this factor, RF factor, if present with normal cytoplasm, it does not have any effect. And if it is present with sterile cytoplasm, it restores the fertility in the male. It goes with the female cytoplasm and removes the sterility of the male. So, RF does not have any character, any expression of its own, but when it is with the normal, it does not express anything. When it is in sterile cytoplasm, it makes the sterile one into fertile. This is called RF factor. See, this can be explained with the help of a cross made like this: small r small f, small r small f, this is normal. RF factor, this is in the normal variety, normal cytoplasm. This is in the sterile cytoplasm, capital R F and small r F. If these are there, if you make a cross, there are two chances. We will get an individual, in the F1 individual with the capital R small f and small r small f. Here, this is fertility. Since the fertility factor has been conducted from here, we will get a fertile male. There is another chance, another probability, RF small r small f into, this is normal, and capital R small f small r small f. There is another individual with small r small f small r small f. So, what is the fertility factor, or the factor that resumes the fertility is not found in another individual? Here it will be male sterile. From this, what do we understand? Aberrant cytoplasm, if there is S type, this will cause sterility in male. Normal type does not cause sterility in male. For normal, N plus sterile, yes, if this is crossed with RF, and it will produce fertile male. If the sterile is crossed with small r small f small r small f, and it will produce sterile male. What is the reason? RF, fertility factor, is not found in this. In this, fertility factor is mixed, so fertile male is resumed. Here fertility factor is not found, so sterile males are produced, no fertile males are produced. So, in these two examples, we have seen one mitochondrial inheritance, another chloroplast inheritance. In the mitochondrial inheritance, the DNA or extra chromosomal DNA present in the mitochondria determines the character of an individual, especially it causes sterility in male. The sterility in male can be restored by the genes called RF genes. The sterile male crossed with RF, the sterility is removed, fertile male can be produced. And this was one example. Another previous example was chloroplast inheritance, in that the DNA in the ovum determines the character of the F1 generation. So these two were over. So atavism. What is atavism? Atavism is modifications of external or functional aspect, external structure or functional aspect of an organism modification in the external structure and functional aspects of an organism, and as a result of which some characters are lost in the future generation. So modification takes place. The modification in a function or structure will effect in loss of a character in future generation. After 3-4 generations, the same character is reappearing. Reappearing and the same character established, same character is re-established in the future generation. To understand this very well, we will say that what is atavism? Atavism can be defined as a reappearance of character in the future generation which was lost in earlier generation. For I would say like the best example for that, if you take this is the generation number 1 and curly hair is present in this generation. Generation 2, 3, 4, 5, this character is lost. And in the 6th generation, again curly hair is appearing. So reappearance of lost character in the future generation is called atavism, and thus that was very clearly studied in the plant, that is Hieracium pilosella. Here this plant in some generation lost sexual reproduction, method of sexual reproduction is lost. And it regained the ability of sexual reproduction after some generation. This is big example for atavism. And what happens in the atavism? Whether genome is changed? No. If the genome is present, in the genome, the genes responsible for a particular characters become inactive during recombination. When after so many generations together, when recombinations of genes are taking place, then the inactive genes become active. The early character is again expressed. So this is what we call atavism. So to conclude, we would say that atavism is a biological process whereby the characters found in the parents is lost in the offsprings, and it is not found for 3-4 generation. After 3-4 generation, the same character is reappearing. So, how is this possible? This is because of the changes taking place in the functional group. Genes which are involving in the establishment of such a character become inactive, and so the character is not expressed. After some time, after so many recombinations, generation after generation, the gene which is inactive become active. So, it does not mean that there is a change in the genome. No, genome is not changed. Genome is present as ever, but some genes become inactive, and after some time, after some generation, active, that makes the character to appear again. This we conclude the chapter classical genetics. In classical genetics, we have been learning the Mendelian principles, law of segregation, law of independent assortment, law of dominance, etc., and crosses to prove the law of segregation, law of independent assortment, and law of dominance. In a Mendelian ratios, that monohybrid test cross and dihybrid test cross. Monohybrid test cross ratio is 1:1, and dihybrid test cross ratio is 1:1:1:1. Monohybrid test cross is performed to see whether the F1 individual is in homozygous condition or heterozygous condition. Dihybrid test cross is performed to find out whether law of independent assortment is adopted. So, there is a difference between the monohybrid test cross and dihybrid test cross. We also have studied how law of independent assortment and law of segregations are adopted in the dihybrid cross with perfect example in Pisum sativum. And we also studied the extension of Mendel's researches that were studied as supplementary factor, complementary factor, dominant epistasis, recessive epistasis, so on. In all those cases, the number of individuals in dihybrid crosses are 16. The 16, as we studied in Pisum sativum, 16, in that 9:3:1, that has been modified as 12:3:1 or 9:7, like that. So, the basic number is same. From this we understand whatever may be the modifications, they are all following the Mendelian principles. So, as I stated earlier, what Mendel stated in his principles after an extensive research in Pisum sativum is still becomes a base for modern science. So, he is called father of genetics because all his principles are static, all his principles are true. No one can disprove Mendel's principles yet. And after that, after the Mendelian principles, we also studied in this class we have studied atavism and chromosomal chloroplast inheritance, mitochondrial inheritance, all that. They are all the inheritance of individuals where chromosomes are not involving in that. So, if chromosomes are involving, we would say that they are all chromosomal inheritance or nuclear inheritance. These are all not chromosomal inheritance. That is why we name them as cytoplasmic inheritance. And if you want to learn further in detail about all these things, you go to the text.